viewers, welcome once again to Think and King. My name is Moses Warrior. Today we are going to be discussing a very sensitive issue, a topic we title The Implications of Unemployment to Nation Building, using Nigeria as a case study. We brought a very erudite engineer on set. He's a lecturer with the Department of Industrial Safety and Environmental Engineering Technology and Chemical Engineering of the Federal Polytechnic of Oil and Gas. We'll bring him on set to discuss this matter. But do not forget, ensure you do well to click the subscribe button. Do well to give us a thumbs up and comment on the topics you'd like us to discuss. Also bear in mind that this topic is going to be coming in different episodes because we have a lot to discuss. But before we commence, I'd like you to also note that you should follow us on other social media platforms. I'll bring on set the engineer. His name is Engineer Abiye Aseminaso. Good afternoon, engineer.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so can we go straight to business because we obviously have a lot to talk about. So we decided to bring this into episodes today, right? So we can do well to elaborate on most of the issues we have to discuss. So can we have a background knowledge and a background view of the topic we had to discuss today?
Okay, thank you, viewers. As we are aware, employment is the cornerstone for the development of any economy around the world. In our local economy, Nigeria precisely, right now we have an approximately about 33% unemployment rate. Nigeria is a country blessed with large number of resources in every sector you can think about. In fact, to me, the most important resource in Nigeria is the human resource. But unfortunately, employment has been a challenge over the years, and it has been getting worse per year. So we have an estimate of 33% rate of unemployment at the moment in 2022 as we speak.
That's in Nigeria,
in
right?
Nigeria alone.
Okay. Yes, using that as a
with
case study.
A population of over 200 million, for example. That is about 66 million Nigerians are unemployed. When you say unemployed, some people might wonder, are we talking about children? Are we talking about elderly people? We are talking about a workforce that is willing and able to work but do not have employment. So that's looking at people around the ages of between 25 to 34. That is the most active employment age in Nigeria. That is the highest number of people in the population. We have a lesser number of young people and a lesser number of older people. We have a large number of middle-aged people in the gap. And these are the people that are presently struggling with unemployment. So unemployment and nation building go hand in hand because every developed society is hinged on the opportunities available for its citizens.
So it's amazing. I was going through this topic today, trying to prepare for this meeting, and at some point I almost got vexed. Because when you begin to look at what some government has been able to put in place, it's quite annoying. And unfortunately, in this part of the world, it's amazing how our young people seriously celebrate mediocrity. I think this is by virtue of the fact that maybe they have not come to understand what the role of government is. So can we look at what the failures of government in this issue? Looking at it from the standpoint of what the government is supposed to do, their failures, and also the failures of institutions. But we can start from the failures of government, right? What are the government supposed to do, and what have they not put in place that is really biting on our young people?
Like you said, the issue is a very sensitive one, and it is very important as well. But looking at the role the government has to play, it is a very broad issue to consider because
I said let's look at the failures, right?
The failures. Oh,
yes.
You want us to concentrate on the failures of government,
what they have not done, right?
Okay,
we can pick it up
from there.
Then we cannot look at what other government have been doing and look at how they can actually come in and what they are supposed to do. But let's look at their failures.
Okay,
what is their role they are supposed to be playing that they have not played as it is now?
Okay, you obviously know I'm someone from the academia, so I will go directly to my area of specialty. Yes.
Yeah.
So I saw a write-up from a wise man that said the easiest way to destroy any nation is not with the use of nuclear weapons or atomic bombs. The easiest way to destroy any nation is by destroying its educational sector. Because a nation with a dilapidated or destroyed educational sector will produce doctors that will be quack and they will kill people in the hospitals. Such a nation will produce engineers that will build buildings that will collapse and kill people. Such a nation will bring out lawyers that will be so corrupt or that will not be good enough and kill people. Such a nation will bring out everything you can think about will come out of that. And that is exactly what we are facing right now. As we speak, we are all aware that the entire tertiary educational sector in the country is grounded. ASU has been on strike for almost 3 months and counting. It has been extended by another 3 months. ASU, the polytechnics, have just gone on strike today, a 2 weeks warning strike, and every other unions in the tertiary education sector are on strike as we speak. What does that say to us and the government and leadership? It means we do not give the right attention to education. And the effects of those, it has a ripple effect because over time, things will keep getting worse. We are talking about unemployment. Before someone can be qualified or employable, he must have the requisite experience and knowledge to be employed in the first place. So if the educational sector is destroyed, that's the beginning of the problem as it is. So the role of government to tackling the issue of unemployment and consequently nation building, to me, starts from education.
Exactly.
Before we can build on other facets that will help to curtail unemployment. Look at any nation or any economy that is thriving today. You will see the role education has to play. Let's use the UK, for example. By divine providence, I have my degrees, both degrees, my bachelor's degrees and master's degree from the UK. So you can realize that the UK has turned education to more like their strongest source of income, if I put it that way.
An empowerment.
Because some of the best schools in the world are in the UK. So even everybody, plus our government officials and everybody else, do their best to send their children to the UK for schooling because they are guaranteed of solid education where people can come back and be useful to the society, where they can come back and they are educated enough to be employed, they can deliver on the jobs they are given, and they are useful to the society. That way, it's a win-win for everybody because everybody is gainfully employed, the economy, the GDP increases, employment is provided, and things will be much better than how they are in our country today.
So can we say, because there's a guy I also listened to,
Yeah.
Shehu Anikulapo, he has a lot of, although it comes from his own perspective anyway.
Yeah.
But he sounds as though the people in government are deliberately or intentionally ensuring that people do not get educated. I know I'm coming. Why I'm saying so is it's a failure that is obvious that everybody knows about, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, when you talk about educating the people, obviously that would make them to know their left and their right. That will make them to understand how much they can empower themselves.
Yes.
Automatically, that will reduce unemployment.
True.
Now let's look at. Also looking at the achievements of the youngest and the first military governor of Rivers State. Rivers State is a state here in Nigeria. The first military, and it was mind-blowing, his achievements. I have some details here I would like to read out so that some people who are watching us can understand what government really is.
Yeah.
In construction, Afedeta Spiff was able to build what we call Olympia hotels, presidential estates. The current state secretariat in Rivers State government today, which is about 9-story building, was built by him. He built West African glass industry, Pabod breweries, Rivers vegetable oil, Pabod finance and investment company, Reason Palm, Pabod. Then we have New Layout Market, Port Harcourt Zoo, Rivers State Broadcasting Corporation, the Rivers State Complex, Shas Football Club, health centers in all the major towns and local governments, College of Science, that's the one they call USC today, School of Nursing, College of Education, that's the one Ignatius Ajuri University, School of Health. You see, so this is what they call empowering the people. Why? Because by the time you set up these institutions and industries, Nigerian engineering works, it's a long list that cannot be concluded just so soon. By the time you begin to set up these institutions, obviously unemployment will be a thing of the past.
True.
So can we make bold to say some of the people in government today are intentionally not empowering the people with education, because if you don't prioritize education, and someone said that when you want to build a nation, you build the man before you build the nation.
Yes.
If you can't begin to build infrastructural constructions, obviously the same man that you did not educate will destroy those things. Yeah. So can we say that the government is intentionally doing it? What do you think about that?
Personally, I know that human capital development is the beginning and the most formidable form of development. So before you talk of any other form of development, if you say infrastructure, whatever, the human capital has to be properly developed to the point where it matches whatever plans you have. In fact, it will even make anything else easier, because the people are educated enough and are enlightened enough to make use of whatever facility or infrastructure. Now, if you look at the effect on employment, for example, if the populace, if the people are properly enlightened and educated, a lot of people will not sit down and wait for the government with regards to employment. Because if someone is a graduate from a prestigious institution, while they wait for whatever job they need, they will start building themselves or start up something that can fend for them.
So I think that should bring in the failures of the institutions, because it is said that majority of our institutions today go ahead to prepare the mind, the curriculum and the strategies they use to educate people, prepare them to begin to expect a job. Right? So do you think that the institutions today should do more in terms of empowering our people to be entrepreneurs?
That's another component that can be added. In fact, the curriculum that the universities and polytechnics have been using, in my view, can be modified, where it now contains, I know that some work has been done already in that light, where entrepreneurship and skills acquisition and all that has now been embedded. That's why you see entrepreneurship centers in most institutions, like in my own institution as well. There's now an entrepreneurship center that is being manned by.
So that means a lot is done.
Some work is being done to that regard.
Okay.
So it just needs to be enforced and increased further, where students in school are made to understand that the idea is not just to graduate and start looking for a job. You can actually create a job. Instead of waiting to be employed, you can graduate and be deployed.
Exactly.
You can deploy yourself into an area. Truthfully speaking, not all of us are going to be gainfully employed in whatever sector. Not everybody will work in a bank. Not everybody will work in an oil company. Not everybody will work in a hospital. Not everybody will work in a school. There are certain people, for example, that have certain skills that on their own, with the experience and the knowledge they've gotten from school, can build up their own brands even.
Exactly. So I think I would like us to automatically use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to Tony Elumelu. Yes, I'd like to say, because he's doing a great deal in empowering entrepreneurs. Because without the small scale industries, empowering small scale industries, obviously there's no way that you can enrich a country or to increase the GDP of a country. So we'd like to say a big thank you to Tony Elumelu for what he's doing. And I think more investors should be able to look towards that direction to empower young people. But we'll be talking about that in other series, right? As we move on, there are other series we are going to be discussing as regards to young people. Now, I like our viewers to also prepare their mind, because obviously, like what you've said now, not everybody would be gainfully employed, because the government does not have the necessary capacity, as it were. Right? And I don't look at it from the angle of prioritize. They've not prioritized it enough. But obviously, our young people should begin to look at empowering themselves, and that's the area we'll be looking at from next week. I like us to look at the area of how young people can empower themselves with the current state of things, because hoping on government and hoping on people, and it has already failed, right? So we'll look at how young people can empower themselves to go for relevant skills and the strategies they will use to be able to implement for them to get themselves gainfully employed without waiting for institutions and all that. And I like us to call it a shot for now. And subsequently from next week, we can see how to discuss those areas. So viewers out there, we would like you to come back to this station next week. We're going to be telling you the strategies on how you can get yourself employed. You need this information from people who are obviously exposed in this field, and we trust that with the information you'll be getting from next week, you will sure get yourself empowered for the next phase. Thank you so much, Engineer, for the time.